Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kendra Cook.
And I'm Jerry Tope. The Southwest TV Translator Association underwrites the news, and Dolores County Broadcasting Network provides the support for DCTV.
Here at the News at Noon show, we present news we hope you find interesting and report on local issues and events. Give us a call with news tips or topics you'd like to see covered. The number is 677-4119.
We appreciate that you're watching DCTV. Today's show is live on Wednesday at noon and rebroadcast at 2:30 and 8 p.m. and again re-aired Saturday at noon, 2:30 and 8.
Today is November 9th, 2016. Now here's the news. Last night was historic. My guess is you've already heard that President-elect Trump was called by Hillary Clinton with her concession close to 1 a.m. Mountain Time early this morning. And in a small town and county like Dove Creek in Dolores County, word gets around fast for the local voting results. DCTV held its Election Central live program starting at 6 p.m. last night, and with great surprise and a fast-acting clerk's office, the total results were released around 7:25 p.m. Dolores County recorded 85% voter turnout, which is, of course, fantastic to have so much of the population participating in the process. So here are the local results. In District 2, incumbent Ernie Williams was ousted by Republican Steve Garcher for County Commissioner, 842 to 365 votes. While in District 3, the open seat will be filled by Republican Floyd Cook, who won with 690 votes, with Larry White bringing in 312 votes and Ed Hodson with 180. On the ballot issues, the acceptance of the fiber optic question 1A to vote out of SB 152 and allow the resale of high-speed internet was passed with 900 votes for it and 256 against. In regard to the ambulance district, both measures passed. The 5A administration, operation, and maintenance mill levy question received 612 votes for it and 557 against, while Measure 5B, called the debrucing question, won with 645 votes to 509 against. Both judges, Douglas Walker and Dale Boyd, were retained, Walker with a yes vote of 534 to 366 and Boyd with 851 yes to 270 no. And the county voraciously voted in favor of the newly elected president, with 76.1% voting for Trump. That was 936 votes and just 227 votes for Clinton. Jerry will fill us in with more of the regional area results. Jerry?
Montezuma County candidates Keenan Ertel and Larry Don Sukla and Will First were re-elected after running unopposed for commissioner and district attorney positions. Ertel and Sukla will be entering their second terms as county commissioners, serving alongside James Lambert. Sukla received 7,764 votes out of 13,028 votes cast overall. He ran as an unaffiliated candidate. Ertel received 7,943 votes. Although Ertel originally ran as a Republican and still has strong ties to the party, he also became an unaffiliated candidate this year. Montezuma County and the town of Dolores both voted to opt out of Senate Bill 152. The law prohibits governments from getting into the telecommunications business. In Montezuma County, 70% of voters chose to opt out of SB 152, voting 8,469 to 3,628 in favor of Referendum 1A. In Dolores, 85.7% of voters chose to opt out of 152, amounting or voting 371 to 62 in favor of Referendum 2A. The vote paves the way for the county to begin developing its plan to build out telecommunications infrastructure to provide high-speed internet for the county and towns. Also in Cortez, voters approved a Montezuma-Cortez RE1 school district request for permission to spend up to $1.8 million toward demolition of the old high school on West 7th Street. The vote was 5,358 to 3,078, passing with 63.51% of the vote. The money has been held in reserve to build a new sports stadium, but the school board agreed earlier this summer that the funds are needed more to tear down the old high school, which contains friable asbestos that must be mitigated. In Mancos, voters approved a levy to help fund library costs. The vote on Mancos 4A was 1,207 to 630, with 65.7% of voters approving the levy. The Mancos Library District asked voters for permission to increase the mill levy by 2 mills. to cover increasing operating costs. The results in Durango showed both Democratic incumbents retained their seats on the La Plata County Board of Commissioners, launching their second terms. Commissioners Gwen Lechelt, District 2, and Julie Westendorf, District 3, defeated their Republican challengers. Lechelt beat opponent Lyle McKnight with about 51% of the vote, while Westendorf defeated Kayla Patterson with 54%. And a property tax measure for the Durango-La Plata County Airport expansion lost by a landslide, while a tax increase to fund La Plata County roads and bridges was defeated by a slim margin. The airport question was defeated 62% to 38%. The roads and bridges question lost more narrowly, 52 to 48.
And as for the Colorado state results, Republican Scott Tipton kept his position as representative for District 3 over Gail Schwartz. Also, Republican Mike Kaufman will keep his seat in the U.S. House of Representatives in the 6th Congressional District as he defeated Morgan Carroll in what was one of the uglier displays of political mudslinging, unfortunately becoming more the norm. Incumbent Democratic Senator Michael Bennet also kept his position, defeating the challenger Darrell Glenn in a close race. Though President-elect Donald Trump won the presidency with 276 electoral votes to Hillary Clinton's 228, the state of Colorado voted our 9 electoral counts in her favor by 51% to 49% by a margin of 51,160 vote difference. Going down the list of amendments and ballot issues, there was an overwhelming defeat on Amendment 69, the proposal that would replace most private health care insurance with a state-run single-payer system called Colorado Care. There was enough support to pass Amendment 70 to increase the minimum wage to $12 per hour by 2020. Coloradans approved Amendment 71, which will make the state constitution harder to amend by requiring more diversified support across the state. Voters nixed the cigarette tax increase, but approved Proposition 106, the right to terminate one's own life for those classified as terminally ill.
A report in the Durango Herald says that if you're thinking about buying a new Tesla, you might want to consider a change to the company's policies that could affect how you charge your car's battery. Tesla's longtime approach has been to let drivers use its exclusive network of 3,500 plus supercharging stations for free. That benefit's going away for future customers beginning January the 1st. Anyone who orders a new Tesla will be expected to pay a small fee once they've exhausted a yearly package of complimentary charging credits. It isn't clear how much the charging fees will be. Tesla said the prices will likely fluctuate based on regional demand for electricity. Customers can still avoid the supercharger fees after using up those free miles by hooking up their vehicles at home. Although the initial setup can be costly for at-home charging, they will pay off quickly if you drive as much as the average. That could help commuters who do most of their traveling closer to home. The average U.S. driver travels up to 13,500 miles a year. According to the U.S. Department of Transportation, Tesla customers who put down $1,000 earlier this year to reserve a Model 3 will likely be affected by the new policy, Tesla told the Washington Post. Because the reservations do not constitute an actual order for a car, it does not appear that Model 3 customers will be grandfathered into the free supercharging program. The company said it would have additional details on Model 3 charging closer to launch. Monday's decision is a shift away from the company's previous policy, but it also signals that Tesla is maturing as a company, according to Carl Brower, an analyst at Kelley Blue Book. Tesla insisted Monday that the supercharger network will never be a profit center. Still, collecting fees from supercharger users will help the company offset its costs, said Tasha Keeney, an industry analyst at ARC Investment Management. By the early 2020s, Tesla could be widespread enough in use that fully charging one might cost as little as $16 at the supercharger. That's from 0 to full. That figure is one that's currently easy to beat, and Tesla has a calculator on its website so you can be as precise as you want. The closest charging station in the Four Corners is located in Blanding at the Blanding Visitor Center with 4 units available 24/7.
The Durango Herald is reporting that a Durango mother was charged Tuesday with felony-level crimes in a head-on crash that killed her daughter earlier this year in southwest La Plata County. Naisha Candelaria, 33, had previously been charged with careless driving causing death, a traffic offense. But prosecutors amended the charges to include felony child abuse resulting in death, 3 counts of child abuse resulting in serious bodily injury, careless driving, and failing to have proper child restraints. None of the 5 children inside the minivan wore seatbelts, according to the Colorado State Patrol. Because of the felony charges, her case was moved to district court. The most serious charge, child abuse resulting in death, holds a 4 to 16-year prison sentence and $3,000 to $750,000 in fines. The other charges of child abuse also hold jail time and additional fines. Assistant District Attorney Christian Champagne said because the incident involved multiple victims, it would be up to the District Judge Jeffrey Wilson whether to impose concurrent, serving all sentences at the same time, or consecutive when jail time for multiple offenses are added up, sentences if she was convicted of the charges. As La Plata County Judge Martha Minot read Candelaria the new charges in court on Tuesday, Candelaria nodded her head when asked by Minot if she understood the terms of the case. We received additional evidence that we feel justifies felony-level charges, Champagne previously told the Durango Herald. The crash occurred shortly before 8:30 a.m. April 18th on the La Plata County Highway, Colorado Highway 140, 1.6 miles north of the Colorado-New Mexico border. Candelaria may have hit snow and ice when she lost control of her 2005 Chevrolet Uplander, crossed the center line, and slammed head-on into a 2009 Kia Sorento, according to the State Patrol. She had 5 children on board, ages 1, 5, 7, 8, and 9. At least 3 children were thrown from the vehicle, and 8-year-old Mia Martinez was pronounced dead at the scene. Candelaria's next court appearance is at 9 a.m. November 17th before District Judge Jeffrey Wilson. And now, let's take a look at the weather.
As forecast, the high-pressure system in the western half of the country is strengthening. It's on track to dominate our broadcast area for a week or more. So there will be daytime highs running 5 to 15 degrees above normal with dry conditions. So watch your campfires and any other fire risk activity. Nothing more than minimum breeze is forecast for the next 6 days. There's still a weakening expected Saturday with some higher clouds maybe on Saturday, but no really noticeable effects are forecast. Early next week should be very similar conditions. As you see, the relatively clear area is most of the country. Both of the northern corners of the country have some rainy and snowy conditions in place. All that activity along the east coast is rainy stuff along the boundary from the northern Appalachians to the mid-Atlantic to the eastern Ohio Valley and central Appalachians. It will move eastward to the northeast coast and mid-Atlantic by evening and off the east coast by tomorrow morning. Upper-level energy across Texas will move westward, where it will create an upper-level low over the southern Rockies and north-central Mexico by tomorrow and into Friday. There have been showers and thunderstorms over southern Texas and the eastern Gulf Coast this morning. These showers and thunderstorms will end over the eastern to western Gulf Coast overnight. The showers and thunderstorms over Texas will retreat to the lower Rio Grande Valley by tomorrow evening. And there will be rain over parts of the Pacific Northwest and northern California coast that will decline from the south to the north by tonight. Our 5-day high temperatures are towing the line and will well into next week, continuing at or near 60. Lows will likewise obediently stay near the mid-20s or right close. Clear conditions will prevail except for Thursday. Some high clouds will gently and quietly pass through just for show. Now back to the news.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, after 4 attempts, the Mancos Press has finally been awarded a grant to restore the building that houses its prized Cranston Press. Mancos Press board member Tammy Graham said the $89,000 grant from the Colorado State Historical Society was awarded in August. After applying for the grant 3 times previously, the group almost gave up, but it was finally awarded. She said it's primarily being used for interior restoration of the building. Money from the grant will be used to replace the tin ceiling of the building and restore its historical character, as well as install heating systems. The group has already received bids for the work and hopes to complete that over the winter. Programming is scheduled to start next month with classes and an artist in residence. The goal is to become a fully functional press shop. The group also received an $11,000 donation from the Ballantyne Family Fund to commission a mural on the side of the building. Painted by Mancos artist Brad Goodell, the mural depicts the Cranston Press and workers printing with it in his very classic communistic stylizing seen on building walls in Cortez as well. The Cranston Press is an 8-foot-tall metal behemoth capable of producing prints of up to 24 by 36 inches when restored. The press in Mancos is one of the few remaining presses of its kind in the nation and has been in the building which formerly housed the Mancos Times newspaper since 1910. The Ballantyne family, which owns the Journal, donated the building to the organization in 2014. The group is excited about getting things going. Graham said, "This is about getting the building back in working order so we can really start with programming."
With regard to climate change, here's another myth. Even before SUVs and other greenhouse gas spewing technologies, Earth's climate was changing, so humans can't be responsible for today's global warming. Science, climate changes in the past suggest that our climate reacts to energy input and output. Otherwise, we'd not have spring, summer, fall, and winter. So it is that when the planet accumulates more heat than it gives off, global temperatures will rise. It's the driver of this heat imbalance that differs. Currently, CO2 is imposing an energy imbalance due to the enhanced greenhouse effect. Past climate change actually provides evidence for our climate's sensitivity to CO2. The image with the red in it is what satellite sensors see as heat given off by the Earth's surface and atmosphere. The other is sunlight reflected back out to space. Not surprisingly, you can overlay these images with other images, such as those of ocean temperatures and currents, as well as atmospheric circulation of weather and volcanic and pollution activities, forest fires, and etc., so on and etc. And thus you get some truth-revealing images from boatloads of data.
We told you about the possible legalization of marijuana being on several state ballots this election year, and we found out this morning that most of those initiatives passed. As reported in the Cannabis.co, it looks like 2016 will shape out to be a watershed year for the marijuana legalization. Voters in 5 states, Arizona, California, Maine, Massachusetts, and Nevada, decided whether to legalize the recreational use of cannabis, and residents in 4 other states, Arkansas, Florida, Montana, and North Dakota, weighed in on medical marijuana measures. The one with the biggest profile is California's Proposition 64, the recreational marijuana measure, viewed as a linchpin for marijuana measures in this election, passed, according to the Associated Press. The measure was ahead with 2,600,000 plus votes for, or 56%, to just over 2 million votes against, or 44%, with 34% of the precincts reporting. Massachusetts' recreational measures also passed, according to the Associated Press, as the state became the first on the East Coast to legalize adult use of marijuana with 53% in favor. And Nevada voters passed question number 2, which legalized adult use sales in the Silver State, also according to the Associated Press report. More than 54% of voters favored the measure. As for the medical measures, Florida was the first to turn green, with Medical Marijuana Amendment 2 garnering more than 71% of the vote. North Dakota was second, with 64% of voters favoring medical marijuana statutory measure number 5. Apparently, as the night progressed, Arkansas became the first state in the Bible Belt to legalize the medical use of marijuana, with 53% of votes in favor of Issue 6. Late into last night in Maine, with 75% of precincts reporting, the recreational marijuana measure was too close to call. In Montana, with 54% of precincts reporting, the measure to expand the state's medical marijuana laws was ahead, with 55% to 44% against. But as the polls closed across the West, it appeared that it might not be a clean sweep for the 9 measures. At 12:21 a.m. Mountain Standard Time Wednesday, Arizona's Secretary of State office results showed recreational measure Proposition 205 down, with 913,145 votes against, or 52%, and 836,918 votes in favor, or 48%, with 82.4% of precincts reporting. How all of this will affect the economic market of the growing industry in Colorado has yet to be determined, but the vote speaks loudly in favor of the humble plant species making a comeback out of the shadows.
Now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of October 31st through November 6th. A disturbance was reported at the Enterprise Bar in Rico, and a Dolores County and San Miguel deputies both responded, and a man was arrested on a felony warrant out of San Miguel County. Further charges are pending in Dolores County after completion of investigation. A deputy completed a civil standby after individuals were requested to leave a local resident's property. A deputy responded and filed a report on a hit and run within town limits. Many reports of loose livestock on county roads were resolved. That's it for today's Roundup. Stay tuned next time for more updates.
In today's High Country happenings, November 12th, the Dove Creek Community Voice Group is having an open house saying, "Let's talk," Saturday from 11 to 2 p.m. at their new office in the Old Pinion Building, 123 Highway 491. They will have cookies, apple cider, and coffee with the conversation. Bring the family, ideas, questions, what you would like to see in Dove Creek. For more details, call 970-739-0073. Rhonda Lancaster is the new coordinator. And the Spinning Wheels, featuring Dolores and Durango musicians, will play the Riverfront Bar and Grill in Dolores on Saturday, November 12th. The band plays Americana infused with a sonic, spiritual, worldly flair and an assortment of stylized covers, according to the website CD Baby. Band members are known for their high-energy performance as well as intimate acoustic sets. The Spinning Wheels have been around for 10 years and have 2 albums out, Hummingbird World and their latest release, Streets of Durango, recorded at Scooter's Place in Durango. The new songs have a lot of Southwestern imagery, says Robinson. Our live shows are Americana spiced up with rock and roll. We play a combination of originals and covers, including Neil Young, B.B. King, and the Grateful Dead. The show starts around 8 p.m. and there is no cover. I highly endorse trying the Riverfront Pizza with garlic parm, white sauce, sausage, and hatch chilies. And if you're driving out and about, a notice that the Colorado Department of Transportation, CDOT, has announced that the Wolf Creek Pass Overlook will close for the winter season. The overlook is located on U.S. Highway 160, about 7 miles west of the pass summit and 16 miles east of Pagosa Springs, mile point 161. The public will not be allowed to enter the overlook beginning today, November 9th, with the closure continuing through the spring of 2017. CDOT typically closes the overlook in late fall or early winter. During this scheduled closure, a maintenance crew will take the opportunity to make improvements at the overlook area. CDOT maintenance foreman George Houdron said, "Before we get a heavy snowfall, we will remove the old chain link fence surrounding the overlook and will install a new, sturdier steel rail fencing to enhance this popular lookout point." Sounds like a good idea. All of the happenings are posted on the DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replay of the news show and exclusive local 5-day forecast. So be sure to check that out and let us share your event or notice by emailing us at dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station at 677-4119. Thanks for tuning in. A reminder that this program is aired live at noon Monday through Wednesday, then rebroadcast at 2:30 and 8 p.m. and again aired Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the same order at noon, 2:30, and 8 each day respectively.
And again, check us out on Facebook and the YouTube replays. Like us there, join the local conversation, and share it with a friend.
For Jerry Tope and everyone at DCTV with the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kendra Cook. Fear not, love much, and thanks for watching.